the core understanding, and it is an understanding at first, the core understanding is that you already are what you seek. So any search for the self becomes a search for what you already always are. And therefore the search itself is the only remaining problem usually for what I'll call a mature seeker. And yet the search cannot be dropped because the one who would drop it doesn't exist. See, I love these emails I get about, well, how do I annihilate the ego? And, you know, that Ramana experienced the death of the ego was one that came in today. And that's completely based on a false assumption. It's completely incorrect because it assumes that there was an ego to begin with to get annihilated. And there's not. It's only an idea appearing in the space of awareness. And so I think that everyone on the call has the basics down, and I'll just open it up for questions at this point.
Charlie, this is Rich.
Yeah.
This isn't so much a question, but I wanted to thank you for that pointer you gave me the other day. You stopped my intellect dead in its tracks with it. I don't know whether it was echo from Zergata or what it was, but it was very spot on, I think you call it, or the Brits call it.
Yeah, and when that happens, see, in my view, when that happens, it's not because there was an individual called Rich listening to another individual called Charlie. It was that it struck home as one talking to one, which is all that's happening here, is that I am is speaking to I am, and I am is listening to I am. There's only one I am, being itself.
And it was, you know, from a time and space standpoint, there was a sense of, how should we say, ancient familiarity with that exact statement.
Yeah. And that is kind of the way it can show up, because this has always been known in your true self, so to speak. This is self-knowing awareness, is the way Bob likes to put it. Or cognizing emptiness. And so all is known and recognized immediately without concept in that. Makes it very simple. But anyway, you're welcome. You happen to remember what it was?
Oh yeah, I'm the eternal recorder. If I get one that does that to me, I write it down somewhere. I do have it here. I can read it to you if you like.
Yeah, what was it? Maybe I'll get it.
Sure, here we go. Stay with the basics.
Oh.
You know the I am, and it all arises from that. And that arises from the truth of silence, absolute beingness. Only a belief in a personal me that is not yet fully investigated can bring suffering. Only that false belief. Keep looking. Where is the me that is on a trip? I had referenced the trip in the letter.
Yeah.
Where is the I that triggers with another, paren false person, paren family with another name? The reference there, my son and daughter-in-law have been having some issues.
Yeah.
Where is this one? Now this one is almost like a Zen cone for me. It ties my mind in a knot, and my mind's pretty quick, but this one catches it.
Yeah.
Where is the me that I say is rich?
Yeah.
That one is how should we say, a mind stopper, I guess is the way I would say it. Keep looking, trust the pointers, trust your true self, being, awareness, aliveness, love Charlie. Beautiful.
Well, that's good shit. I got it.
I'll tell you, that's the best love note I've ever had.
Yeah. And it's interesting when you read that back. It's kind of like, well, you know, not bad. Sounds like it's coming from source. And I didn't see it. This we're back to what I started to say before, is that this is I am speaking to I am. And so when I hear that, I hear it as though I didn't write that. I don't know where that came from. I hear it as I am speaking to I am. Can you kind of get a sense of that? And I think Rich really kind of, you elucidated it pretty well, really, as far as how it hits you.
I've been writing for 30 years now, flow of consciousness type stuff, and the real kick is at some point in time you're sort of watching the process and you sort of say, wow, that's neat. Of course, that generally dams up the process, but that's another story.
Yeah, and that's an interesting thing, because then the false claiming of the I thought comes in and says, boy, that was really good that I did that. And of course, during the happening of the writing itself, there is no one doing it. It is flowing from consciousness itself. And then the conceptual overlay can arise that says, oh, that's good stuff. You know, I watch that happen here. I just don't take this thought seriously.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah, and it isn't, and the oh, that's neat isn't necessarily I'm doing it. It's just, how should we say, a fragmentation of the holistic experience that's going on.
Yeah, well, not only that, it is what is appearing to happen, but the appearance is only taken to be real while we're dreaming.
Yes.
But that's the two basic pointers in this sharing are, number one, you know that you are. The I am can't be escaped from. No one can say I am not. You have to be there to say it. So the I am of being is inescapable. And of course that I am phrase or language, I am, is only a pointer to the actuality of the emptiness of the I am itself. That's pointer number one. And pointer number two is, where is any separate me? Can you find such a thing? And on direct looking, naturally kind of looking into the machinery to see what makes it tick, you can't find any actual controlling entity in there anywhere, can you? Has anyone found one yet?
No.
And that is the root cause of all human suffering, is the belief in a separate entity called me or myself or I. And on direct investigation, there ain't no such thing. And so the utter simplicity of this teaching or sharing is just consists in those two simple pointers. Being is, and you can't escape that. You do not exist as a separate entity. What you are was never born, has no name, no form, cannot be found to be separate. There's only a thought of I, an idea appearing in the space of being itself, and was believed incorrectly and assumed incorrectly to be what we were. And once that's seen, the whole ball game is over, and you live in freedom, in the natural state. And then ultimately the understanding arises, or the direct seeing arises, that even consciousness or awareness is a happening on the absolute, pure, unborn, no thingness itself.
Say it again.
Are you kidding? I have no idea what I said.
It's on the tape. It was a test.
Now get testy.
either you have nothing or bullshit, one or the other.
Well, and yeah. Yeah.
Heard that before somewhere.
And the curious part of it is, of course, that you don't even have nothing. Even the presence awareness of beingness itself arises in the emptiness of the absolute unborn. It's unknowable and indescribable, can't be known. It's that which knows that you are dreaming you're awake, or dreaming you're in deep sleep, or dreaming that you're dreaming.
That gets back to that Nisargadatta pointer that I mentioned in one of the emails recently. That's somewhat of a summation in very short form of what John Wheeler had written, the I am that by which I know I am. It puts another level in there that's normally missed.
That's yeah. I was just looking at it and kind of letting it rattle around.
I am that, but you can't say what it is, and it's transconceptual, all that kind of stuff. But it's the one that knows the I am, which would be the one you just indicated as beingness or whatever.
Well, and let's take it back. Let's up the abstraction another level, okay? Is if you up the abstraction to the infinite level of abstraction, if there's such a thing, which words are going to never capture, then what you are is that which knows that it knows that it knows. And not even that.
Yep.
So the best pointer I've ever heard is, all there is being, and not even that. That being appears as nothing being everything. Now get that one. The being appears as nothing being everything. But nothing is also an appearance to that. It's beyond nothing.